What's up, Jared? We're here today with a weekly setup review of Monday Night Raw. Sorry that last week we had no setup reviews Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. I was very busy, so I didn't get to do it. And also, I'm sorry I didn't get to do the setup review of Backlash. I only saw half the show. I was very busy that weekend, so I ended up not doing the setup review. But here we are, a week later. Now we're back consistently doing the setup reviews, and I should not be missing at all. But let's get into this Monday Night Raw. They kicked the show off with Drew McIntyre coming down to the ring, and before he even really could say anything, the crowd starts chanting CM Punk. And he's like, "Oh no, CM Punk isn't here. He doesn't show up to the small towns. He only comes to the big cities." And pretty much Drew McIntyre then going on blaming CM Punk for him losing his world title and all that. And then Damian Priest interrupts him. And Damian Priest comes down the ring, and he's like, "Well, actually," he goes, "it's not my fault that you thought CM Punk was more important than celebrating with your own wife with your new world title and everything. I cashed in my Money in the Bank. I was not cheap," and everything was pretty much Drew McIntyre was saying before he came out that he was screwed by CM Punk and Damian Priest, and he lost his world title because he was screwed. Damian Priest is like, "No, actually, you screwed me several times out of cashing in my Money in the Bank. So I finally took the opportunity when you were laid out and I won the world title." And that was pretty much it. And then Drew McIntyre's like, "Blah, blah, blah, I'll beat you if I wasn't injured." And Damian Priest is like, "Okay, when you're not injured, you have an instant title shot after for the world title." So Drew McIntyre has a guaranteed world heavyweight title shot once his elbow is healed. I'm assuming this match will probably be at Clash at the Castle in June. But that was the start of the show. Not too bad. Then it was Gunther versus Kofi Kingston in the King of the Ring tournament. This was like the quarterfinals, with Xavier Woods on ringside, injured, and actually no, he was backstage, I think, because he was injured. That's why he couldn't be in this, not to defend the King of the Ring crown. So he was not in the tournament. Kofi Kingston was. Gunther and Kofi Kingston ended up putting on a pretty good match. Gunther ended up doing like a leg lock on the freaking announcer's desk and everything, but he ended up getting the leg lock again in the middle of the ring, and Kofi Kingston ended up tapping out. But overall, this match was pretty good. But Gunther moves on to is it the semifinals? Yeah, the semifinals for the King of the Ring tournament. And there was some other women's Queen of the Ring tournament stuff. Honestly, I forgot what they were already, and I don't have the figures to set them up, so that was that. Oh, I know what was one of them. Io Sky faced somebody, and she ended up winning, and she was moving on to the semifinals for the Queen of the Ring tournament. And there's one other one. It was an NXT girl that she ended up winning, and she's moving on in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She'll be facing Io Sky next week. Then Becky Lynch took on Dakota Kai going one-on-one. This match was pretty boring. Then Damage Control ended up attacking Becky Lynch, laying her out. Then Liv Morgan showed up. Before Liv Morgan showed up, the girl that will be facing Io Sky next week in the Queen of the Ring tournament came out to save Becky Lynch. Damage Control ran away. Then Liv Morgan snuck behind Becky Lynch, throwing her into the turnbuckle, and then Liv Morgan escaped. Liv Morgan standing tall, taking out Becky Lynch, setting up their women's world title match at King and Queen of the Ring, the pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia at the end of the month. Then Bronson Reed had a squash match against Akira Tozawa with Chad Gable on ringside. Bronson Reed absolutely squashed him, hitting that giant giant splash on him. 1, 2, 3. Chad Gable was disappointed in Tozawa. Then Adam Pearce announced that there was going to be a 8-man tag match for the number one contender for the WWE Tag Championships. So Miz and R-Truth were on commentary, while JD McDonough and Finn Balor took on New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, AOP, and the Creed Brothers. This match was actually really good. There was some crazy stuff between Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Tyler Bate picked up one of the AOP. They're huge, and swung them around. I mean, there was a couple times I thought Tyler Bate was going to fall over, and he let go of him, and then he fell over. It was crazy. Couldn't believe he picked him up and swung him around. They did some crazy flips. The Creed Brothers always doing some crazy German suplex and everything. I feel like the Creed Brothers should eventually win the tag titles. That's my personal opinion. But Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne almost picking up the victory, but then Finn Balor and JD McDonough ended up stealing the win. When Tyler Bate was going to get the pin, JD McDonough pulled him out of the ring. Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on Pete Dunne. 1, 2, 3. JD McDonough and Finn Balor are the number one contenders for the WWE Tag Championships. Then we had Sami Zayn versus Otis. This match was decent. It was going back and forth. When Otis went to go hit the caterpillar thing, the caterpillar or worm, whatever he calls it, and Chad Gable was telling him, "No, don't do that stupid stuff," but the crowd's hyping up Otis. Otis ended up hitting it, and then hits it. Sami Zayn kicks out. Sami Zayn reversing the move, hitting a haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn beats Otis, and Chad Gable's all disappointed at him, screaming at him. And Otis is sitting on in the middle of the ring, and Chad Gable is yelling at him, hitting him, pushing him. Sami Zayn comes out, comes back, saves Otis, takes out Chad Gable, beating him up, and then Sami's standing in the ring, but Otis ends up saving Chad Gable, getting beat up by Sami Zayn, and Chad Gable is back to yelling at Otis and slaps him in the face and walks away, leaving Otis just in disappointment. Otis ended up following Chad Gable while the crowd was chanting, "Don't do it, Otis," and everything. I think this is setting up for Otis having another babyface run when he was like super over in like 2020 when he was a babyface. Everybody was loving him. So I think that's what they're going to end up doing with this. That's what I feel like they're going to build to, and Chad Gable being on his own, or I think he might recruit the Creed brothers and have like a run of like Kurt Angle, when Kurt Angle had Shelton Benjamin and another guy. It was like the 3 Olympic guys, and they're all healed. I feel like Chad Gable's setting that up, and he ended up dishing Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree. He was also said backstage to Maxine Dupree that he's very disappointed in her because she's no longer in the Queen of the Ring tournament and she's a failure. Also backstage, JD McDonough warned Braun Strowman apparently to get out of the Judgment Day's business. Then it was main event time. It was Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov. I know that's not Ilya Dragunov. It's just Carl Anderson. I don't have an Ilya Dragunov figure, so I just threw a figure in there. In the way, it was Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov. I really could saw it going either way. Whoever wins faces Gunther. I know a lot of people want to see Ilya Dragunov face Gunther again because they had one hell of a match at NXT. But Jey Uso's so over right now. He's hot. They got to keep pushing him. This match was really good. There was a couple times I thought Ilya Dragunov was going to win. Jey Uso was down. He hits his finisher with the punch. But Jey Uso ended up kicking out of it. And Jey Uso was still down. Ilya Dragunov went to go hit another like flying punch thing he does for his finisher. But Jey Uso catches him and hits a spear that jumps on the top, gets to the top rope, jumps, does a Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso's moving on to the semifinals to face Gunther. Gunther comes down to the ring. Jey Uso and Gunther go face to face, and Jey Uso starts doing the yeet motion while he's supposed to be serious. This man's never serious. He's just a goofball. I really can see Gunther winning this and then winning the King of the Ring, but also Jey Uso's so over. I can see him beating Gunther and winning, and then going on to the finals in Saudi Arabia to face whoever on the SmackDown set and winning it. I think either way, whoever wins between this match, Gunther or Jey Uso, are actually going to be the people that win the King of the Ring tournament. I don't see Randy Orton or Carmelo Hayes or Tama Tonga or LA Knight winning. It would be interesting to see LA Knight win, but I really see it to be Gunther or Jey Uso. Overall, this Monday Night Raw was packed with wrestling. There was a lot of wrestling in this show. But overall, I thought it was okay. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. The Gunther, Kofi Kingston, and Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov was good. And then the 8-man tag match was good. Everything else was boring. Bronson Reed's squash match was dumb. Sami Zayn versus Otis, it wasn't really a good match. It was just Sami putting over and setting up this Otis thing with Chad Gable. So an actual match, it wasn't really good. It wasn't the most entertaining thing. Drew and Damien's promo was okay. And honestly, all the women's matches were really boring. Io Sky's match was boring as hell. Becky Lynch versus Dakota Kai that ended up being just a disqualification was boring. So overall, all the women's matches, not even trying to be like rude against the women's, they just did not have a good night. The best part, honestly, was backstage when Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch went face to face, and Becky Lynch ended up punching Liv Morgan in the face. That was probably the most entertaining part of the whole show for the women's stuff. But overall, a decent Raw. I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. This is JRW. Make sure to like, subscribe, see even more wrestling figure content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.